What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show. What's good? What's good? What's good? This is your boy Tone DeShields II. You guys are tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports via the Chalk It Up Network, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We have a lot of things to get to. We have a lot of things to talk about. Not going to waste too much time on the pleasantries. You know what your job is. You know what you're here for. You know the routine. Smash the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. If you're new to the show, thank you so much for taking the time out and giving your boy a shot, right? This is the off season. This is where the real content creators are made. This is where the real content creators earn their bones. You know, you got some people who are just comfortable talking during the season. You know, you got some fans who are just comfortable rooting for their Philadelphia Eagles when the lights are brightest. But if you ask me, this is where it gets real. This is where the real separate themselves from the fake. And I can't wait to get into the content with you guys because we have a lot to talk about. You know, I've had my fair share of guests these past several days, but I think it's time you and I have a one-on-one conversation. I think it's time we get back to the basics here, at least for now. We're definitely going to have guests coming going throughout the off season. You know, stimulate that mind, stimulate that content bubble. You feel what I'm saying? So again, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed. All right, let's get to the breaking news. James Bradberry has just been cut by the Philadelphia Eagles. One day after the Philadelphia Eagles parted ways with their Pro Bowl, All-Pro, Super Bowl champion cornerback and Darius Slay, right? Now, both of these players are north of 30. I believe Darius Slay is 34. I believe James Bradberry, if I'm not mistaken, James Bradberry is 31. So you parted ways with your aging veterans at corner, James Bradberry and Darius Slay, and now you're leaning full frontal. You're leaning all the way in on your youth movement in that DB room. I believe your oldest DB is probably CJGJ. He's your oldest DB, and I believe CJGJ, he is 27 years old, right? Reed Blankenship. Reed Blankenship, 26 years old, right? And everybody else is pretty much under that. CJGJ, 27. Reed is 26. Those are the OGs in the room now, right? Those are the OGs. I believe Quinyon is like 23, 24, something like that. I believe Coop is like 22. You know what I mean? Keely Ringo, I think, is like 22. You know, you're leaning all the way in on this youth movement. Sidney Brown, I believe, is maybe 23, something like that, 22, 23. So the Philadelphia Eagles have fully leaned in on the youth movement in the cornerback room, the DB room in general. I'm not mad at it. We expected this. We knew this would happen, right? We knew this would happen. Now, to add context to both James Bradberry and Darius Slay's release, let's start with James Bradberry first. Let's start there. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. All right. Let's get this thing going. So, James Bradberry, as I said, released by the Philadelphia Eagles about an hour or so ago. He's been designated as a post-June 1st cut. So, this is what that means. The Philadelphia Eagles will save approximately $2.1 million in cap space in 2025. But because of the nature of the cut, he will count a total of $10 million or $10.8 million in dead money. That's $3 million in 2025 and $7.7 million in 2026. So the Philadelphia Eagles are going to still be on the hook for portions of James Bradberry's contract in 2025. That's $3.09 million, and that's $7.7 million in 2026. All right? That's a total of $10.8 million in dead money as it pertains to James Bradberry. All right? A small price to pay in the grand scheme of things. Now, when you get to Darius Slay's contract situation and what the Philadelphia Eagles are on the hook for, Darius Slay also designated as a post-June 1st cut. The Eagles will save $4.3 million on the 2025 cap. But the Eagles must also carry his $13.8 million cap figure until June 1st. So also for Darius Slay, they're on the hook for a good chunk of change as well. This is the harsh reality, people. This is the offseason. This is the part where facts must supersede feelings. Now, is there a chance the Philadelphia Eagles decide to bring back Darius Slay at a cheaper price tag? That's entirely possible. I actually think that's what's going to happen. I actually believe Darius Slay will ultimately be back at a more reasonable price tag. But at the same time, Darius Slay's in his last season, or he made it very clear he wants to play one more season, regardless of where that is. He also said he would love for it to be in Philly. He also wouldn't mind if it's in Detroit. Those are the two teams he played for in his entire career. Familiarity is important to him, clearly. And also, those are two teams that people consider to be contenders. But again, Darius Slay, although I believe the Philadelphia Eagles have an opportunity to bring him back, it's all going to come down to what's paramount for the player. Will Darius Slay, will Darius Slay chase the bag, get his last final solid payday, or will he decide to come back in Philly or come back to Philly or stay in Philly rather for a little bit less money at a more reasonable price tag so he has a chance to run it back? Now, he may be able to argue, well, yeah, I could run it back with Philly, but Detroit has a chance to take it all the way as well. But here's the thing. Detroit lost their OC and Ben Johnson, and they lost their DC and Aaron Glenn. So there's going to be some turnover coaching-wise on that team. Is that something you want to deal with? Is that something you want to be able to put up with? Do you want to have to learn a whole new scheme in your final year? Don't you just want to ball out and have fun and play free? Be somewhere comfortable, be somewhere familiar where your young guys are at. You feel what I'm saying? Be somewhere where they know you, they know they know your tendencies, they know what you need, they know your routine. the athletic training staff, they know exactly how you like to get taken care of in terms of your health. Why would you want to move your whole family cross country again? You've been in Philly for what, 5 years, 6 years? You guys have grown roots here. Your wife loves it here. The children, I'm sure they love it here. They're champions here. We love that bread pudding by the lovely Mrs. Slay. We love it. So Slay, I think there's a chance you stay in Philadelphia. I think if the Philadelphia Eagles make you an offer, because again, Slay's coming off of one of his best seasons. Granted, he has dealt with ticky-tack injuries. That's a fact. But brother, you coming off one of your best seasons. Why wouldn't you want to come back to this situation? As far as James Bradberry, I think the Philadelphia Eagles are perfectly comfortable cutting ties with James. He was on this roster all year long, getting paid north of $10, $12 million just to relax, take it easy. You know what I mean? Be a solid veteran to the young guys, right? James Bradberry, hey, listen, I salute you for being respectable, for being honorable, for being a team player, for being the OG for guys like Quinyon and Coop and Keely Ringo. I appreciate that. Big time, I appreciate that. But I'm perfectly comfortable moving on from James Bradberry. We saw the writing on the wall well over a year ago. 2 years ago. Let's just call it what it is. But the Eagles are going to be on the hook for some of that money. Again, when it comes to James Bradberry, the Philadelphia Eagles will be on the hook. Although they're saving $2.1 million in 2025 on the cap, he will be owed some dead money. $3 million in 2025, $7.7 million in 2026. They're still going to be paying off that James Bradberry tag or that tab. And as far as Darius Slay, they have to carry around $13 million, $13.8 million to be exact, of that cap figure until June 1st. But they will clear $4.3 million off the cap. So in total, the Philadelphia Eagles clear, what is that, $6.4 million? $6.4 million in total as it pertains to the cap. That helps. It helps. It helps. Now, here's the other side of this. I know I mentioned, hey, I got a feeling the Eagles bring back Darius Slay. That's a feeling. That's an assumption. But also, there's a huge possibility. It's a very reasonable, a plausible possibility that the Philadelphia Eagles don't want to bring back Darius Slay. They want to lean in on the youth movement. They want to get the most of these guys that are on rookie contracts, a la Keely Ringo. We know Coop and Q Mitch. We know those guys are starters. I've heard some people say, hey, Quinyon on the outside, play Coop on the outside. I'm sorry, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want Cooper DeJean on the outside at all. I believe he's more valuable. I believe he's more of an asset. I believe he's more lethal in the slot where he's able to roam and get into the run fits, right? He kind of hedges the bet of those linebackers in coverage. Some people say, well, Tone, in base formation, put Quinyon and Coop on the outside. That's basically when base formation is when you have just two corners on the field, basically. In base formation, put Coop and Quinyon on the outside. Whenever they go into the nickel or any dime or any big nickel, whatever it may be, put Coop in the slot and leave Quinyon on the outside, all right? I understand your logic there. But I still want Coop in the slot most of the time. And let's be honest about this. In this NFL, most teams are not playing these games in their base formation most of the time because teams want to pass the ball. And there's a stronger chance you see 11 personnel than 12 personnel most of the time. 3 wide receivers on the field versus just 2 and 2 tight ends. Cooper DeJean allows you to stay in the nickel formation and still be able to defend the run well because he's so savvy at setting the edge. He tackles well in space. You feel what I'm saying? Very physical player. He allows you that versatility. So I want Cooper DeJean to stay in the slot. That's where I'm at with it. But again, back to Darius Slay and back to the idea of a youth movement. We've already started it with Quinyon and Coop. I said several months ago, I believe the Philadelphia Eagles' long-term plan when it comes to that secondary is that they move on from Darius Slay after the season. I've spoken about that. I've been very candid about that. The Eagles move on from Darius Slay this offseason. And I think their ultimate vision is to have Quinyon and Keely Ringo on the outside and Coop in the slot. CJ, GJ, and Reed Blankenship back there doing their thing in the safety position. I believe that's their ultimate goal because you're not paying Reed Blankenship much money. You're not paying CJ, GJ much money that's killing you. You're Quinyon and Coop and Keely Ringo are all on rookie contracts. You feel what I'm saying here? You'll have 3 DBs, 3 corners on rookie contracts. Keely Ringo is entering year 3 of his young career. So the Philadelphia Eagles, it's going to be actually very important for them to figure out what Keely Ringo is. Can he start at the NFL level? They're going to have to figure that out and go through those growing pains over the next 2 seasons. Because, again, his first 2 years, he was on the bench. He came in relief. Put some good things on tape. Still has some things to work on. Hence why Vic Fangio leaned more towards Isaiah Rodgers in key situations. But regardless, you got to find out what Keely Ringo is. You got to find out if Keely Ringo can play and play consistently over the stretch of a season. You have to. You know Quinyon can play. You know Coop can play. You know Reed and CJ GJ is going to do what they can do. Can Keely Ringo fit into this? Knowing he's being coached by Christian Parker, knowing he's being coached by Vic Fangio. Also, knowing he's being coached by Roy Anderson, the cornerbacks coach. Christian Parker and Roy Anderson have coached these DBs very, very well in the 2024-2025 campaign. I want to make sure I give Roy Anderson his flowers. Roy Anderson has flown under the radar. Roy Anderson is he's more cornerback focused. And Christian Parker, he's the pass game coordinator for the defense. He covers the entire defensive back room, safeties and corners. But Roy Anderson, he specializes in cornerbacks. So we got to make sure we give Roy Anderson his credit. Ray Bailey says Ringo is not ready, period. You don't know that. Ray, let's be honest about this. You don't know that. How can you say a player is not ready? At some point, you got to find out if he is. At some point, you got to find out if he is. How do you know if somebody's ready or not if you don't give him a shot? You don't know. You got to find out. You got to find out. And again, this all remains to be seen. This all remains to be seen. Quinyon and Coop, yes, they've spoiled us. They played very, very well very early. But I'm not going to ignore the traits Keely Ringo has that are very unique at the position. The size, the range, the length, the athleticism, the willingness to tackle. You got to find out what he is. And again, that's if they don't bring back Darius Slay. That's if they don't. Kelee Ringo has another year under his belt now. Another season under his belt. He's witnessed the lows of this team in 2023. He's witnessed the pinnacle of this team. He's played with guys like Quinyon and Coop and being coached by Christian Parker and Roy Anderson and Vic Fangio. I think year 3, you got to find out. And that's if you don't bring back Darius Slay. Some people believe, nah, move on. Fair enough. Some people say, nah, bring Slay back. He still got one more year left in him. Fair enough. I don't think I would be mad either way. But there's one thing that's undisputed. There's one undisputed fact that can't be debated. You got to find out what Kelee Ringo is. You have to. He understands this is a big offseason for him as well. The Eagles cleared the runway. They cleared the runway. They released Darius Slay. They released James Bradberry. As of right now, the Eagles' cornerback room is thus. As of right now, on contract, you have Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Kelee Ringo, and Eli Ricks. That's your cornerback room right now. That's your cornerback room right now. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Kelee Ringo, Eli Ricks. Now that begs the question. Will the Philadelphia Eagles try to bring back Isaiah Rodgers? Isaiah Rodgers has put up some good tape as well for himself. Could a team throw a 2 or 3 year contract at Isaiah Rodgers and give him a shot to be a starter? Isaiah Rodgers is a young guy himself. Isaiah Rodgers is 27 years old. This may be his one opportunity to really get a nice chunk of money for himself and his family. So it's all going to be dependent on what the market dictates. It's all going to be dependent on what these guys want for themselves. Philly 007 says, Rodgers said it himself. He's coming back. We will see. Listen, it's the offseason. These players say a lot of things. That's the part that a lot of people need to wake up and smell. These players say a lot of things. At the end of the day, once the negotiations start, and then you start hearing things you maybe don't want to hear, and your representation, your agent comes back and says, listen, they don't want to pay you at this number. They want you at this number. Sometimes emotions get caught up in those negotiations. So I'm sorry. It's the time of the year where you got to take what a player says with a grain of salt. You gotta take what they say at a grain of salt. I'm sorry. No disrespect to nobody. This is the time of the year when everybody says exactly what they're supposed to say. This is the time of year where everybody turns into politicians. But eventually, those negotiations come to a beginning and they come to an end. And if they don't like what they're hearing, if they don't like what they're hearing from their representation as far as what the team is willing to pay them, best believe. And if another team comes in and says, hey, I'll give you this, and if that team is good enough to contend, they'll take that bag. Because this goes beyond just winning. A lot of these guys also want to secure their financial futures for their families. Some of these guys only get one shot at doing that. This is where real life comes in. This is not a video game. So make sure you guys do your thing, stay engaged, smash that like button. The offseason will continue to be underway. We're going to follow this entire thing. We're going to be locked into every motion, every audible that these teams do, that these players do. We're locked in on everything. Our play recognition is on 99. You feel me? We're not missing a beat. You guys are tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports via the Chalk It Up Network, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. If you're new to this thing, I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. Thank you for locking in. Thank you for tuning in. It means a lot to me. We have over 220 people tuned in. We got 69 likes. Make sure you guys smash that like button. That like button needs to match the viewership. That like button is currency in this YouTube space. Don't get too comfortable without hitting that like button. It's necessary. Let me get to the first super chat of the day from my man Alex, one of my members here at Chalk It Up Sports. With the $4.99 super chat, Alex says, people have had doubts about every Georgia Bulldog except Jalen Carter, and they've all proven them wrong. So why start now with Ringo? You know what, Alex? That's a great point. That's a great point by you. People doubted Jordan Davis. He's now a Super Bowl champion. They doubted Nolan Smith. He had one of the best edge rusher performances we've seen in the Super Bowl run by a Philadelphia Eagle. 4 sacks in the playoffs. They doubted Nakobe Dean. First 2 years, didn't play, battled injury, comes in year 3, balls out, got hurt in the wild card round of the playoffs, but now we know he can play on this team. We'll see what his future holds, though. And they even doubted Jalen Carter, not from a talent perspective, but they doubted his commitment to football. They doubted Jalen Carter's ability to be a pro, to be a professional. Jalen Carter was drafted to the perfect situation in Philadelphia. We had the infrastructure. We had the cachet necessary to develop and take care of a player like that. So Kelee Ringo deserves his shot. He deserves his shot. He got to get a shot. He deserves his shot. I'm not going to take it from him. I personally feel like he beat out Isaiah Rodgers coming into the season last year. I personally felt like he beat him out. But Vic Fangio felt differently. And we saw the value Isaiah Rodgers had. Were there moments where we are like, Isaiah, you can be better than that? Sure. But here's my thing about Isaiah Rodgers that I don't like. And it's not something he can change. It's not something personal. His size. He's fast as hell. He's fast as hell. He can run stride for stride with anybody. But his size. There are moments where he gets beat at the catch point. We saw it in the divisional round when I believe that Rams wide receiver, that slot receiver, I don't even know what his name is. You thought Isaiah Rodgers had the INT. The receiver said, no, give me that ball. Took it right out of his hands. When it comes to athleticism, Kelee Ringo matches Isaiah Rodgers. He may not be as fast, but he's a ticker. He's a tick below that. He's a tick or two below that. Kelee Ringo has the size, the physicality, and the speed you want at that position. He can be a little handsy, but I think you can coach that out of him. I think it's already been in the process of being coached out of him. I don't think Kelee Ringo gets out-muscled at the catch point. I don't think so. He's a strong brother. And if you run his way, he's going to hit you. Whereas though Isaiah Rodgers, we know he really don't want to tackle like that. Or let's just say he does. Let me not take it away from him. Let's say he does want to tackle. I saw what Puka Nacua did to him in week 12. I saw what Puka Nacua did to Darius Slay in week 12. You need some physicality, right? You need some physicality at the position still. So we'll see ultimately. But if you're just joining the show, if you're just joining the live stream, the Philadelphia Eagles have released James Bradberry, and he's been designated as a post-June 1st cut. As it pertains to the money situation with James Bradberry, James Bradberry will count a total of $10.8 million in dead cap over the course of the 2025 and 2026 seasons. The Eagles will owe dead money of $3 million in 2025 and $7.7 million in 2026. Cutting James Bradberry will save the Philadelphia Eagles $2.1 million in cap space in 2025. And they cut ties with Darius Slay. Moving on from Darius Slay saved the Philadelphia Eagles $4.3 million in cap space on the 2025 cap. But they must carry $13.8 million of his cap figure until June 1st. So the Eagles are leaning in to their youth movement. Now, I want to address what Big Rhythm has to say here. Shout out to Big Rhythm who's tuning into the show. Let me check him real quick. He says, what made you think Ringo over Rodgers if practice was closed? Oh, I watched the preseason games. And my eyes told me Ringo was better. My eyes told me Ringo was better. I liked what I saw from Ringo in the preseason games. Simple as that. Yes, of course, I'm not at practice. Don't be an asshole, Big Rhythm. But I watched the preseason games, and I liked what I saw from Killy Ringo in those first two games. That's my opinion. Some people like Isaiah Rodgers. That's all right. That's cool. But I don't think the gap was wide at all. I don't think the gap was wide at all. But Vic Fangio trusted Isaiah Rodgers. I'm not mad at it. I was surprised. As a matter of fact, I think there's live streams when I was talking to LB and Simone, and we were discussing it, and I was like, I thought Ringo won it. I wasn't the only one that thought that. But regardless, though, we'll see. Again, they may bring back Isaiah Rodgers, but the one thing I don't like about Rodgers is that size, man. He's fast as hell, though. He has ball skills. He's very instinctual. He knows how to turn his head. See, those were the things that I think Isaiah Rodgers had over Killy Ringo. The nuances of the position, right? I think somebody mentioned earlier the fundamentals, right? The technique. There were moments where Killy Ringo, I'm like, hey, turn your head, brother, turn your head. If you turn your head, you won't get that call. Isaiah Rodgers much more, or showed at least, that he was more technically sound over the course of the season. That's a fact. Rodgers showed that he was more technically sound than Ringo. We saw it all year long. Whenever Rodgers had to come in, whenever they tried to target Rodgers, whenever he was on that football field, you saw him run stride for stride with the receivers, and he turned his head at the perfect time. Boom, swat. He made plays throughout the season. Forced the fumble here and there, recovered the fumble in the playoffs, took it to the goal line damn near. Isaiah Rodgers put up some really good tape for himself. And as much as Rodgers showed that he's more technically sound than Ringo right now, or as far as we know, there's a chance we could lose Ringo in free agency. It's a strong chance of that. Remember, think about Isaiah Rodgers' story real quick. And then we're going to transition to another topic. But think about Isaiah Rodgers' story real quick. He missed basically 2 seasons of football, or a year and a half. I can't remember. I don't remember exactly. But at minimum, Isaiah Rodgers missed a whole season of football because he got caught betting on football games or gambling. Rodgers wants to make up some lost time here. Rodgers wants to get paid. He wants to make up for some lost cash. Does that make sense to you guys? You get suspended for a whole season. You missed out on some, you missed out on some cake. Now you got a chance to go into the bakery and maybe dictate some terms. Hey, if I'm Rodgers, I can't blame Rodgers for trying to get the most he can get. I can't blame him. Antonio Holmes, he says, Tone, it was a point in the preseason that Rodgers was over Q and Q was in the slot. That says a lot. If it wasn't for his hand injury, Q would have been in the slot and Coot would have been on the bench. That's a good point, Antonio Holmes. There was definitely a point in time where we were talking about Quinyon in the slot, even in the preseason, right? We saw him in the slot for the most part. And Isaiah Rodgers gets hurt with the hand injury, which forced us to put Q on the outside. And Vic Fangio was like, hey, I'm keeping him there. So that's what you, Antonio, that's what you call divine intervention. That's what you call divine intervention. The football god said, no, no, no. Quinyon Mitchell belongs in the outside. I ain't even mad at it. That's what you call divine intervention. It's sink or swim. Me personally, I wanted Quinyon on the outside from day one. I said, listen, throw him out there. Outside, day one. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. All right, you guys. Before we switch to our next topic, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Make sure you guys smash that like button. We'll be back in 1 minute and 15 seconds. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. Let's have a word from our sponsors. You're tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports via the Chalk It Up Network, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Be back in 1 minute. What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show. All right. You guys are tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports via the Chalk It Up Network, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. Thank you guys for sticking around. It means a lot to me. It goes a long way. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. All right. So I want to transition to shout out to my man Big Rhythm. He said, "Hey Tone, hope you see I didn't mean no." Oh no. No disrespect, but it sounded a little snarky a little bit. Sounded a little snarky, Big Rhythm. But we're all good though. It's no big deal. I don't take nothing personal. I don't take nothing personal at all. But it did sound a little snarky. Other than that, Big Rhythm, I appreciate you for locking in on the show, man. It means a lot. All right. So where are we? All right. We've addressed James Bradberry being cut by the Philadelphia Eagles, saving them $2.1 million on the cap. We've addressed Darius Slay being cut by the Eagles, saving them $4.3 million on the 2025 cap. That's a total savings of $6.4 million that you relieved on the cap. Also, cap space went up. Cap space went up. And that gives teams, I think, an additional 19 or 20 million. All right. So the Philadelphia Eagles have some money to play with. They ain't got the most. They ain't got the most. They ain't got the most, but they got a decent amount. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can pull this up here. See if I can find out what the Philadelphia Eagles have in cap space. Okay, so all right. The latest update, I see 17.7 million. That actually may have increased. There may be more than that. Let me double check here. All right. All right. So I'm saying the Eagles have a grand total of 21.9 million in cap space. That's what I'm saying here. 21.9 million. All right. That's what I'm saying here. If you guys see anything different, let me know. 26. Okay. Chris Scott is saying 26. Antonio Holmes saying 26. Okay. Is it 26? Okay. Let me double check this here. Yeah, I'm having a hard time finding the exact figure, but let's just go with 26. Let's go with 26. All right. So, anyway, you move on from Slay, you move on from Bradberry. Now I want to get into some speculation here. I want to get into some speculation. You know, the rumor has been bubbling around the NFL that the Philadelphia Eagles are prime candidates to make a play for a guy like Myles Garrett. That's been the rumor. Hey, can the Philadelphia Eagles make a trade for Myles Garrett? Things like that, right? And, you know, it sounds good. It sounds exciting. Myles Garrett would add instant. He would be an instant contributor on his team. Let's not get it twisted here. Myles Garrett will be an instant contributor on this team. But it all depends on what the Cleveland Browns want for him. It's going to come down to that. What do the Cleveland Browns want for him? Now, Myles Garrett is 29 years old. He's 29 years old. He'll be 30 in December. As a matter of fact, he's my Capricorn brother, Myles Garrett, that is. 29 years old, will be 30 December 29th. Now, he carries a $19.7 million cap hit in 2025. $19.7 million cap hit in 2025. He's currently on a 5-year, $125 million contract that was given to him by the Browns. His rookie extension. A lot of money. He's made a lot of money so far in his career. But I want to know from you guys, what do you believe Myles Garrett is worth? What do you think the Cleveland Browns would accept for Myles Garrett? But I also want to take it a step further, right? Because although Myles Garrett has been the topic of conversation, I think we also need to keep our eyes open for a guy like Maxx Crosby. I think Maxx Crosby is somebody we need to keep our eyes open on or open for. I say this why. Maxx Crosby has been hinting for the past couple months, the past few months, that he is very locked in on what the Philadelphia Eagles are doing. He picked the Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl. He's been hinting at a potential move to Philadelphia. Yesterday, he tweeted, "Life is beautiful," with an eagle emoji and a diamond emoji. Could he potentially be a trade target for the Philadelphia Eagles instead of Myles Garrett? Now, here's the thing. Maxx Crosby is younger. He's 27 years old, which means he's probably going to cost you more. He carries a 2025 cap hit of $27.9 million. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Warv says he's been tweeting those emojis for years. That's his brand, Tone. Is it really? The eagle and the diamond? You see, I'm not just relying on the emojis and the tweet. I'm also paying attention to what he's saying. I'm also paying attention to what he's saying as well. I got y'all. But have you guys heard what he said or what he's kind of been doing over the course of the offseason? Every step of the way. I got it. The Eastern Michigan Eagles. I got it. But he's been on television. And every chance he's gotten, he's picked the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, obviously, I would pick the Philadelphia Eagles as well. They're a great team. He's been locked in on what the Philadelphia Eagles have been doing all year long. He's been one of the Eagles supporters of the playoffs. That's a fact. But I was not aware that was a part of his brand. So I appreciate you guys for making me privy to that. Thank you. But Maxx Crosby is also an edge rusher who made it clear to his organization that I need to know what you're doing. I need you to tell me something that I can believe in. He made it very clear that you need to put something together. You need to make some decisions so I can believe in what we're doing here. I want to win. These guys, these edge rushers, they're tired of wasting their talents on mediocrity. And also, although that is his brand, you guys, life is beautiful, the eagle and the diamond. I know that's his brand, you guys. But earlier we was talking about divine intervention. Do you guys believe in double entendres? Do you guys believe in double entendres? Do you guys believe that two things can be true? I told y'all it's the offseason. We're doing a lot of speculation. Let's have some fun with it. You see, I listen to a lot of hip hop. I listen to a lot of rap. My favorite artist is Kendrick Lamar, has been since I was in high school, has been since Overly Dedicated, has been since the mixtape with him and J-Rock, No Sleep Till NYC. Yeah, I've been a K-Dot fan for a long time. No Sleep Till NYC, Overly Dedicated, Section 80. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, although that is his brand, life is beautiful. The eagle and the diamond. But life can be better, don't you think? Cartoons and cereal. Yes, Son Moku. Life is beautiful, but life can be better. Don't you think, you guys? Don't you think life could be better? Anthony Chops Crowback says the Cowboys just paid their D tackle, Osa Odigizua, 4 years, $80 million. Woo! Oh my God. That's confirmation. Milton Williams is out of here. Milton Williams is out of here. If they're paying him $20 million a season, what y'all think Milton gonna get? I don't care if you think Osa is worse than Milton. He just set the market. Milton Williams about to get 23, 24 million. These defensive tackles are getting wide receiver money now. Brandon Coles, he says, Tone, are you going to the K-Dot concert May 5th at the Link? I'm not going to the one at the Link, but I'm going to the one in Texas. I'm going to the Kendrick and SZA concert in Texas. Me and wifey going. We're already locked in our tickets. Our tickets are already paid for. But yeah, and the market has been set. Milton about to get 20. I told y'all Milton getting over 20 million. He getting over 20 million. Woo! Man, oh man. Milton is about to get paid. But again, back to Maxx Crosby and Myles Garrett. Howie Roseman, he's going to make a splash this offseason. He's good for it. The question is, what will it look like? Myles Garrett, 29. Has a $19.7 million cap hit in 2025. Maxx Crosby, 27, will be 28 when the season starts. Has a $27.9 million cap hit in 2025. Both of those players are disgruntled. Both of those players has made it clear to their respective organizations that I need to see your plan of action so I can believe in what you're selling, so I can believe that we're going to win here at some point. Myles Garrett, the difference is Myles Garrett has drawn his line in the sand and made it clear to not only the Browns, but made it clear to the general public that he wants out and he will not negotiate with Cleveland anymore. He's done talking to Cleveland. He wants out. So now Cleveland has lost all their leverage, in my opinion. You've heard Cleveland say, hey, we're not trading him under any circumstance. Well, guess what? He made it very clear. He won't play for you under any circumstance. You have to move him. And 9 times out of 10, if you want to get that return on investment and if you want to rebuild your team quick enough, you're going to trade him on draft night or before draft night so you can get maybe another first-round pick to fast-track your rebuild. So Cleveland has lost leverage, and now they're on the clock. In my opinion, that brings down the price tag of Myles Garrett. Cleveland is going to have to take what they will be able to get for him. Maxx Crosby, on the other hand, he did not make it clear that he wants out. He did not deliver a well-written statement saying he wants out of Las Vegas. But he did say on more than one occasion, they need to prove to me that they are moving forward in the right direction. Because in my opinion, the Raiders don't have a quarterback. They brought back an aging Pete Carroll, who knows what he's going to bring to the table. They signed Chip Kelly as their OC. I have no idea who their DC is right now, but it's hard to believe in what the Raiders are doing. Will they draft a quarterback? Who knows? But the Raiders, in my opinion, are far and away from competing for anything. The Raiders aren't even the second or third best team in their division. Does Maxx Crosby really see the silver lining in Las Vegas? You got to play Mahomes twice a year and the Chiefs. You got to play Bo Nix in the Broncos twice a year. You got to play the Chargers twice a year. A lot of good coaches in that division. But the Raiders are clearly the worst team in that division. Clearly. I don't know. My OG, S. Blunt, says you can't wait or else his value will drop by next year. They have to deal Myles before the draft. Bingo. They have to make a move before the draft. Bingo. Sun Moku says, I think the Browns will hold out until Myles shows he's willing to sit out games. Listen, Myles has his money. That man has career earnings that supersedes $120 million. He's good. The Browns don't want this to linger. They know they messed up with Deshaun Watson. They got to move on quick. They got to rebuild their team quick. So, son, they're not going to allow him to get to that point. He made it very clear he wants out. He penned a letter. He's been on every media platform throughout that whole Super Bowl run. Y'all thought he went to the Super Bowl media row just to hang out. He went there to market himself to all 31 other teams, or at least he went there to market himself to all the contenders. He didn't go to Media Row just to hang out. He went there to market himself. He went there to market himself. Hey, I want out. I'm willing to go to the best contender who's willing to pay. Simple as that. Sweet Chin Music says, Tone, you're talking football logic when it comes to the Browns. It doesn't apply. Yo, the Browns are silly, man. They are silly. Private McClunky says, Tone, would you trade Goddard and picks for Garrett and maybe throw in Huff? Ooh, interesting. I don't know how much value Goddard would bring them. They have David Njoku. And I don't know how much David Njoku's owed, but David Njoku. Oh, wow. Okay. Hold on. So David Njoku, just like actually Dallas Goedert, both Dallas Goedert and David Njoku are in the final years of their contracts. Both have battled their own fair share of injuries. And both of them were getting top 5 tight end money. So, I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense for the Browns to trade for Dallas Goedert, a tight end who's talented but can't stay healthy. David Njoku kind of falls into that same category. Talented. Now, over the past, talented, but can't stay healthy. David Njoku only played in 11 games in 2024. Dallas Goedert only played in 12 games or 10 games in 2024. So, why would they trade one injury-prone tight end for another? Doesn't make too much sense. Ace Lux says, man, we getting Garrett for Huff in the 5, and the Browns better like it. K. Order Green says, a 7th rounder in 2030 and a half a honey bun. Take it or leave it. Yo, y'all talking crazy, man. Greg Miller says, I don't blame Myles Garrett for wanting out of Cleveland. I don't blame him either. They played around. There was a moment where I thought Cleveland was going to be a contender. There was a thought. But I think they gave up on Baker Mayfield way too soon. They got cute signing Deshaun Watson to that massive contract, and now they're paying the price. Baker Mayfield has turned the Tampa Bay Buccaneers situation around. He's given them the perfect bridge from Tom Brady. Baker Mayfield has had his best years with the Buccaneers. He's in a better situation. Well-run organization, well-coached organization, has weapons, a young running back, a decent offensive line, a decent tight end, a solid defense. Baker Mayfield's in a good situation. They screwed that up. Ace Lux says that's karma for giving up on Mayfield. It is karma. Hazel May says, I say prioritize Zach Bond and Milton Williams. Well, here's the thing, Hazel. Let me let you in on something. The Dallas Cowboys just paid their defensive tackle, Osa, 4 years, $80 million. That's an average salary of $20 million a season. Milton Williams is much better than him. Milton Williams is going to get north of $20 million. Don't be surprised if you see Milton Williams get like $23, $24 million. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. And trust me, Howie Roseman is not going to pay that. You want to know why? Because he's going to eventually have to pay Jalen Carter, who's going to break the fucking bank. He's going to have to figure out. He's going to have to find out if he's going to pay Jordan Davis, and whatever that price tag will be. It's not going to be $20 million for Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis is probably going to get somewhere around between 10 to 12 million, maybe. Ray Bailey says, hold on, Tone. He only got $58 million guaranteed. 58 mil, Tone. 20 million of that up. 20 million of that up from though. Okay, peep this though, right? Peep this. That's not only 58 million, Ray Bailey. They signed him to a 4-year, $80 million contract. So in theory, his first 3 years of the contract are guaranteed. 58 million is only 2 million off from 60 million, right? They basically guaranteed the first 3 years of his deal. And, to be exact, let me pull out the calculator here. $58 divided by 3 is 19.3 million. 58 million divided by 3 years is 19.3 million. So if we want to be technical, Ray, to your point, they're paying him 19.3 million a season. With the guaranteed money, that is. The guaranteed money. 19.3 million. That's only 0.7 million away from 20. Milton Williams is going to get like $22, $23 million. And if he goes to Carolina, like the rumor is bubbling, he might fleece them for 25. He might fleece their ass for 25. Ray Lester says, honestly, any team that follows Dallas's clown moves is a fool. Who cares what Dallas overpays their players? That's not the point, Ray. It's about the market. It's about the market and what the market says. It's the market. Unfortunately, the idiotic Cowboys just set the floor to the market. I think we all can unequivocally say Milton Williams is better than Osa, whatever his last name is. I'm not going to try to say it. I think we can all say without a doubt Milton Williams is better than Osa on the Cowboys. So don't look at it as us following what the Cowboys did or don't look at it as the Eagles following what the Cowboys did. It's what the market dictates. It's the market. It's free agency. We talked about this, I want to say last week, did we not? We said free agency is where desperate teams overpay. That's what free agency is. That's what free agency is. It's the land of desperate people overpaying. That's what it's about. And the cap just went up. So forget what you think a player's worth. Forget what you think a player's worth. It's about what the market says. And a guy like Milton Williams, who put up 5 sacks at the D tackle spot in a rotational role, might I have you. Milton Williams put up 5 sacks as a rotational D tackle in 2024 and put up 2 sacks in the Super Bowl. A team is going to pay his ass. They're going to cash him out. They're going to cash him out. So when it comes to the Eagles and Howie Roseman, Milton Williams, he's out the door. They're not paying that. I think Josh Sweat may be out the door. And Milton earned that money, by the way. He earned it. Milton paid his dues. Milton paid his dues. He got drafted here, I believe, in the 4th round, 3rd or 4th round, maybe. He got drafted here. He paid his dues. He sat behind Fletcher Cox, backed him up, learned from him. Backed up Javon Hargrave, learned from him. Backed up Jalen Carter, learned from him. And when he got the opportunity to get significant snaps on that D-line, he made the most of it. 5 sacks, got 2 in the Super Bowl. On the biggest stage, can also defend the run very well. Can play the 3 technique. The dude earned his payday. He's earned the opportunity to start somewhere. Josh Sweat, he's probably going to get somewhere between 14 and 17 million, maybe somewhere. He may get, because Josh Sweat is like 30 or 29 or 28. Let me double check that. Josh Sweat 27. I'm sorry, he's 27. So Josh Sweat is 27. He's probably going to try to get somewhere around 17, 18 million. He's going to try to get somewhere close to 20. And here's the thing, too, right? Here's the thing. That Bryce Huff contract fucked us. You want to know why? You want to know why that Bryce Huff contract fucked us? Because now, you know what it did? It showed Josh Sweat, hold on, wait. Y'all paying him 17 million. I'm way better than him. If that Bryce Huff contract fucked us. And it's going to put Josh Sweat in a position to maybe get 20 million. That's the truth. We didn't think about it like that, did we? We didn't think about it like that. Josh Sweat or Bryce Huff is making an average salary of $17 million. If Bryce Huff is making that, what you think Josh Sweat going to try to command in the open market? We didn't think about it like that, did we? We was just like, hey, trade Huff, do what you got to do to get rid of him. Do what you got to do to get rid of him. But that Bryce Huff contract fucked us. We're not going to get away paying, no team is going to get away paying Josh Sweat $17 million at 27 years old. Josh Sweat can rush the passer. He put up 2.5 sacks in the Super Bowl, had 8 sacks on the regular season. Can defend the run, can set the edge. Non-problematic player. Josh Sweat is going to get roughly, I say Josh Sweat gets something between $19 and $21 million. I think Sweat gets something between 19 and 21 million. And I know some people are ready to give up on Bryce Huff, by the way. Because the Philadelphia Eagles are on the hook when it comes to Bryce Huff's contract for at least another season, don't be surprised if he's on this roster come September. Don't be surprised. Because I think the most difficult asset to move on from, if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, is Bryce Huff. Alex, I'm glad you said that. Alex says, and Josh Sweat switched agents at the end of the season too. Guess who his agent is? Guess. One of the most cutthroat motherfuckers in the league. Drew Rosenhaus. Drew Rosenhaus. Drew Rosenhaus is Josh Sweat's agent. You want to know who else Drew Rosenhaus represents? Drew Rosenhaus also represents Hassan Reddick. Drew Rosenhaus also represents Darius Slay. Drew Rosenhaus also represents Tyreek Hill, Javon Hargrave, Aaron Jones, he's represented LaShawn McCoy, Terrell Owens, Warren Sapp, Antonio Brown, Chad Johnson, Frank Gore. Drew Rosenhaus is one of the most cutthroat agents in the business. So I'll let y'all do the math. He gone. Be gone. Be gone. Ace Lux says, I haven't given up on Huff. I'm sure he can be a decent starter on another team. So you have given up on Huff. Ace, you funny as hell, man. So you have given up on him. I'm just saying, y'all. Howie Roseman. Oh, and let me get to my next super chat by Alex. Sorry, Alex, I missed this. He says, Aleem McNeil from Detroit got almost $100 million last offseason. That's when I knew Milton would be tough to keep. Bro, Aleem McNeil and Milton Williams were in the same draft class. Aleem McNeil is getting money. Aleem McNeil is making an average salary of $24.2 million. The Detroit Lions signed Aleem McNeil to a 4-year, $97 million contract. Four years, $97 million. And that dude, Osa, with the Cowboys, just signed a 4-year deal worth $80 million. Milton Williams is getting over $20 million. Milton Williams is out of here. Thank you for the super chat, Alex. I appreciate you. So, yeah, man, what's the move? What's the play for Howie Roseman this offseason? Is there a blockbuster move cooking? Is there a blockbuster move on the horizon? What's shaking? If you're Howie Roseman, what's shaking? Do you make a play for Myles Garrett? Do you make a play for Maxx Crosby? It all remains to be seen. SC Birds fan says Travon Walker is on the move. I've heard y'all say that a couple times, actually. I've heard y'all say that a few times. That Travon Walker may be on the move. I think Travon Walker is still on his rookie deal, right? Let me check something out. Let me see something. Hold on. Because that may be a nice move, actually. He's young. Okay, Travon Walker, 24 years old, entering the final year or the fourth year of his rookie deal. The Jaguars are going to have to decide if they're going to pick up his fifth-year option. Let me look at some of his numbers. So 2022, 4 sacks as a rookie. 2023, 10 sacks. 2024, 11 sacks. So he's had back-to-back seasons of double-digit sacks. And he's played over 75% of the snaps over the past 2 seasons. And he's been healthy. That's another thing. He's been healthy. So Travon Walker, that might be a good move, y'all. That might be a good move. Georgia boy. Travon Walker. He's 24 years old, entering the 4th year of his rookie contract. The Jaguars have to decide if they're going to pick up his 5th-year option. Back-to-back seasons, double-digit sacks, hasn't missed a snap, hasn't missed a game. Over the past 2 seasons, has played over 75% of the snaps. That's interesting. But Sweet Chin Music says, also, why would the Jags trade him? Sorry, you guys. Hold on one second. Sweet Chin Music, you bring up a good point. You bring up a good point. Why would the Jags trade him? And also, he is going to be looking for a contract very soon. This is tough. KGK, you bring up a good point. This is tough. This isn't easy. This is tough. This is tough. You know what's so crazy? All this shit we talking about, trading for Myles Garrett, potentially trading for Maxx Crosby, potentially trading for Travon Walker, all the shit we talking, right? All this shit we talking. The Eagles have kind of showed you on defense what they're trying to do. They're not trying to overspend if they don't have to. They're going to build this defense through the draft, which is what they've done. There's a couple free agents sprinkled in there. CJGJ, you didn't draft him. Zach Bond, you didn't draft him. But that entire D-line you drafted. You drafted Sweat. You drafted Nolan Smith. You drafted Jalen Carter. You drafted Jordan Davis. You drafted Milton Williams. You drafted Moro Ojomo. Right? Unless you can get Myles Garrett at a reasonable number, we can't put it past the Eagles to draft an edge rusher. We can't put it past them. I think they will. And you drafted Jalen Hunt. You drafted Jalen Hunt as well. Can't forget him. I can't put it past the Philadelphia Eagles to draft another edge rusher. I'm ready to see what the next step is for Moro Ojomo. I'm ready to see what the next step is for Jalen Hunt. You're going to lose Brandon Graham. 9 times out of 10, he retires. The Eagles have drafted primarily this entire team. Out of all 22 starters, I want to say CJGJ, Zach Bond, Darius Slay, AJ Brown, Mekhi Beckton, and Saquon. Out of 22 of your starters, 16 were drafted. 6 were free agents. That's what you want. That's what you want. That's what you want. You want to draft well. You want to supplement your roster with free agents if you can at a reasonable price tag, or supplement the roster with some guys you trade for. We traded for the AJ. Saquon and Beckton were the only free agents on offense, but I get what you're saying though, Chaotic. I get it for sure. You had 3 free agents. You had 3 non-drafted players on offense and 3 non-drafted players on defense. That's really, really good. 16 of your 22 starters were drafted players. That's exactly where you want to be. Sean Dials brings up a very good point. He says, Tone, don't forget about Gabe Hall, who spent last season getting stronger. I agree with you on that. Also, don't forget about Byron Young, who had the opportunity to just sit and really train, get better, watch Jalen Carter, watch Jordan Davis, watch Milton Williams, watch Moro Ojomo, watch Thomas Booker IV. You're going to lose Milton, yes, but you got Moro Ojomo elevating. You got Thomas Booker IV taking that next step. You got Byron Young on a rookie contract going to take that next step. Gabe Hall, same thing. Same thing. The way Clint hurt and Vic Fangio coaches these guys, yeah, that D-line, the interior, that is, the D tackle position, the interior, they may be in better shape than we think. On the interior, they may be in better shape than we think. But the edge, you need some more bodies there. You're going to lose Josh Sweat. You're going to lose Brandon Graham. So that means you got to replace those two bodies somehow. You have Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt. Who else you got on that edge? You got Bryce Huff on the roster. And that's it. Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt, Bryce Huff. Those are your ends. Those are your edge rushers. So the Eagles have an immediate need for an edge rusher. I think they're in better shape at D tackle than people think. Green Wingman with the $20 super chat. Thank you, my friend. I really do appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. You guys are tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports via the Chalk It Up Network, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Greeny says, whatever the Eagles decide to do, they're in one of the best positions of any team. The draft has plenty of depth to retool, and due to cap casualties, there will be plenty of talent after free agency. Greeny, I agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. The interior of the defensive line, I'm comfortable going into the season with that. Maybe you draft another guy. Who knows? But the edge is where you need bodies. You only got 3 edge rushers on the contract. Bryce Huff, who didn't show you anything really last year. Jalen Hunt and Nolan Smith. Young guys, man. I think you're going to need you may need some veteran leadership on that edge, man. You may need a veteran on that edge. You really just may. Green Wingman, thank you for super chat, my man. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. All right, let's see where we are here. We're about to close shop in a little bit. S. Blunt says, only thing I disagree with is plenty of talent in free agency. This is a weak free agency class. Yeah, I had to look at it. As a matter of fact, let's pull it up. Let's not even play around. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. All right, we're pulling up the free agents right now for the season, for the 2025 offseason. All right. Let's get into it. These are your 2025 free agents, okay? I think this is a great free agent class for receivers, though. If you need a veteran receiver, this is a great free agent class for receivers. You got Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, Brandon Cooks. This is a good free agent class if you need a veteran wide receiver. All right. Let's filter this a little bit. Let's put it on available. And let's go edge. All right. Here we go. Here are the free agents at edge rusher. Damn, a lot of them are older. A lot of these guys are older, man. You got Khalil Mack, 34 years old, coming off of, I think, a 7 or 6 sack season, something like that. You got Hassan Reddick, who hardly played last year. You got Matt Judon, 32 years old. DeMarcus Lawrence, 32 years old. Preston Smith, 32 years old. Josh Sweat, 27. Chase Young, 25, going on 26. I heard the Philadelphia Eagles may potentially look at Chase Young. I heard about that. Chase Young may be an option. This is actually, matter of fact, let me see what he did last year. Let's look at what Chase Young did last year. Let's try to find out what he did. 25 years old. He'll be 26 next month. Let's see what he did last year. This is Chase Young stats. So Chase Young, (2024) has 6 sacks, played in all 17 games. He didn't start, but he played 742 defensive snaps. That's not bad. It's not bad. Chase Young, 6 sacks in 2024, 17 games played. With the 49ers, 16 games played, 8 sacks. So in my humble opinion, he's bounced back. He's bounced back pretty well from his injuries in 2021 and 2022. I would consider this a nice bounce back. Not bad at all. But what is he looking for? Let's look at Chase Young's market value. Woo! Sorry, buddy. I don't know, buddy. I don't know. Look, he's young. But I don't know. I'm already paying Bryce Huff $17 million. I'm not doing that. I'm good. I'm already paying Bryce Huff $17 million, and he ain't give me shit. You're already paying Bryce Huff $17 million. No. I'm good. All right. Let's go back to the free agents. Charles Omenihu, 27 years old. DeMarcus Walker. Okay, Charles Omenihu, 27. Let's see. Charles Omenihu. Wow, not really a dominant. He was hurt last year too. I'm cool off this. He only played in 6 games. Only registered 1 sack. Nah. I'm cool off Charles Omenihu. I'm cool. Didn't stay healthy last year. I don't know how I feel about that. Somebody gonna pay him, but nah. I'm cool. DeMarcus Walker played in Chicago last year, 30 years old. Jerome Baker, 28 years old, played in Tennessee. Marcus Davenport played in Detroit, 28 years old. Let's see what Marcus Davenport looking for. Marcus Davenport, 28. He didn't even stay healthy last year. Oh, my God. I'm cool, man. I'm cool, bro. I'm cool. Cheap as hell, but he couldn't even stay healthy. Oh, my God, man. I forgot those Lions guys. They was hurt all in last year. Yeah, S. Blunt, you right, man. Sweat gonna whack him. S. Blunt says, you see my point now? Sweat gonna make a killing. This is a weak free agent group for what we need. You're right, bro. You're so right. This is not a good. You're not going to get value. You're not going to get good value with this free agent class. You're not. In my opinion, the sexiest name on this list in terms of age, let's be honest about this. As Blunt made a very good point. The best name on this list, and I can keep going, but here's the reality. When it comes to the free agent edge rushers, the best name on this list, when you factor in age, production, and health, and talent, is Josh Sweat. By far. Josh Sweat may get over $20 million. Seriously. I'm not even over exaggerating. Josh Sweat will likely get over $20 million because the market for his position right now is so fucking dry. You either got old guys who are way past their prime. You got guys who are coming off of really bad injuries. You got guys who just aren't as talented as him. You got guys who are only pass rushers who can't stop the run, who can't set the edge. Josh Sweat, when it comes to his free agent class, he gives you the best combination of age, health, talent, versatility. He's going to write his own ticket. Josh Sweat is the most valuable edge rusher on the market. As a matter of fact, Josh Sweat and Milton Williams, I believe, are the top 10 free agents. NFL Network put together, I think they're top 100 or they're top 50 free agents available. Milton Williams and Josh Sweat both rank in the top 10. Look at this. I'm going to show you guys this. I'm going to show you guys something real quick. Peep this. Check this out, right? So, Greg Rosenthal for NFL.com, he put together his top 101 NFL free agents of 2025. Watch this. Look, watch this, you guys. I'm about to blow your mind here. The top, according to NFL.com's Greg Rosenthal, these are the top 101 NFL free agents of 2025. You got T. Higgins at 1, but they franchise tagged him. You got Trey Smith at 2, but he got franchise tagged. Then so T. Higgins and Trey Smith don't even count because they got franchise tagged. So that leaves Milton Williams. Milton Williams is the top free agent available right now. Then you got Ronnie Stanley at offensive tackle. Then you got Zach Bond in the top 5. Sam Darnold at 6, Osa at 7, who just signed a big contract. Is going to be making an average salary. He signed a 4-year, $80 million contract with $58 million guaranteed. When you think about the totality of the contract, he's making $20 million a season. If you just focus on the guaranteed money, his first 3 years are guaranteed. He's making $19.3 million guaranteed on average. Then you got Josh Sweat at 8. Yeah. What's going on, Akbar? What's good? 3 of the top 10 free agents in 2025 are Philadelphia Eagles. Josh Sweat, ranked 8th. Zach Bond, ranked 5th. And Milton Williams, ranked 3rd. But if you exclude the guys that either got franchise tagged or got paid already, Milton Williams is ranked number 1. Zach Bond is ranked number 3. And Josh Sweat is ranked 5th. So out of the top 10 available free agents, keyword available, out of the top 10 available free agents, Milton Williams, Milton Williams, Zach Bond, and Josh Sweat round out the top 5 available free agents. Top 5 available free agents. Mekhi Beckton. Let me find him real quick. Because he's on his list. Mekhi Beckton. Give me a second, you guys. Sorry, it's a long list. Mekhi Beckton is ranked 52nd. He's ranked 52nd, which is not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I'm going to make that very clear to you guys. It's not the he's a guard. He's a guard. Listen, it's a combination of things. He's a guard, and also he has had ticky-tack injuries that he's battled throughout the season, and he's only been a guard for 1 year. So teams are looking at it from a perspective of, can it translate? Can he do this elsewhere? Like it says here, will that skill set shine outside of Philadelphia? And like Sanomoku said, a lot of people felt like he was a bust before getting to Philly. Alex with the super chat, thank you, my friend. He says, what you think of the Eagles going for Mayer from Las Vegas? Rookie deal with 2 years left, and he's a solid blocker too. Who is Mayer? What position does he play? Help me out with Mayer. Who is that? Tight end. Okay. Tight end. Got you. Interesting. Okay. I'd rather draft the guy. I'd rather draft the guy. Why would I trade for a backup tight end? Or I gotta just draft the guy? You know what I mean, Alex? Why trade for a guy when I could just draft him? I don't see the point in that. So yeah, man. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. So, yeah, man. And thank you for the super chat, Alex. I appreciate it. So, yeah, this free agent market for edge rushers is not the greatest. As Blunt made a very good point. It's not the greatest at all. So, I highly doubt the Philadelphia Eagles make a move for a free agent edge rusher. They're either going to draft one or they're going to trade for one. That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I think is going to happen. I think they either trade for an edge rusher or they draft one. They're not going to sign one. If you draft one, you get him on a rookie deal. He's cost controlled, and you can develop him. If you trade for one, it's either going to be Myles Garrett or nobody. Maybe Maxx Crosby, maybe, depending on how things go with him and the Raiders. It all depends. Remember, the Raiders are in full rebuild mode. The Raiders are in full rebuild mode. They could bring back a nice haul if they trade Maxx Crosby. His contract, though, won't be the easiest to trade. He has 2 years left on his current deal, 2025 and 2026. So I know a lot of you guys have mentioned Khalil Mack. Let's see what Khalil Mack is looking like. 34 years old. He's coming off of, let's see the kind of season he's coming off of. Khalil Mack is coming off of a 6-sack season. He played in 16 games. He's been healthy for the past 3 seasons. He's been healthy pretty much his whole career. But Khalil Mack has been very healthy over the course of his career. In 2023, played in all 17 games. He put up 17 sacks. But they cut his snap count down by a large margin, which is not the worst. On 56% of the snaps played, on 616 snaps, he put up 6 sacks. For context, you guys, Josh Sweat put up 8 sacks on 622 defensive snaps. So, just to add context to that, okay? Just to add context of that. Khalil Mack, 16 games played, 616 snaps played, 6 sacks, along with 2 forced fumbles. Josh Sweat, 16 games played, 622 defensive snaps played, 8 sacks. All right? And look, if you decide to sign Khalil Mack, you know, he's not playing a lot of snaps for you. But at the same time, do you really want to, like, is it worth it really? Is it worth it? I'm not pressed to bring in Khalil Mack, personally. As a matter of fact, let me see what his market value looks like if they show it. Okay, Khalil Mack market value. Get the fuck out of here. Man, they better suck 23. Yeah, right. Yeah, fucking right. They smoking crack. Khalil Mack is not he's not getting $20 million. Khalil Mack is probably going to get 15 at best. They smoking the harshest crack on the planet. That shit is stepped on. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Stop playing. And listen, Spotrac is good in certain aspects. Sometimes they go over the top. Listen, I like Spotrac. I like how their website is set up, but every now and again, they slip on a banana peel. Every now and again, they put out some bullshit. Anyway, as Blunt made a very good point. This is not the best free agent class. This is not the best free agent class at all as it pertains to edge rushers. So the Eagles are either going to, I think the Eagles are going to draft the edge rusher regardless, but as far as that first round or what they do with those first couple picks, they're either going to draft a guy or they're going to trade for a guy. That's pretty much what it is, man. I don't know any other way to put it. If it ain't Myles Garrett, if it ain't Mason Crosby or Maxx Crosby, excuse me, if it ain't Myles Garrett and if it ain't Maxx Crosby, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Whoa, hold on. Hold on. Whoa, hold on. Let me see something. Peep game, y'all. Peep game. Peep game. The Jets are releasing Devontae Adams. Yo, the wide receiver free agent market it's nice. If you're looking for a veteran wide receiver to add to your room, it's a lot of talent, man. It's a lot of talent at that wide receiver spot in free agency. You know, those guys are 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. You know, like you got some veterans. You got some veterans. You got some veterans for sure. You got some guys that can make an impact on teams. Don't be surprised. Listen, watch out for the Giants. Watch out for the Commanders and the Cowboys. They're going to poach one of these guys. Maybe not the Cowboys. They're cheap. But be on the lookout. The Commanders or the Giants may go after one of these guys in free agency. They just might. But also, it all depends on what those guys are looking for. We'll see. Because right now, the free agent market at wide receiver looks like this. Stephon Diggs, 31 years old. Keenan Allen, 32 years old. Amari Cooper, 30 years old. Chris Godwin, 29. Brandon Cooks, 31. Deontay Johnson, 28. DeAndre Hopkins, 32. Mike Williams, 30. Robert Woods, 32. Marquise Brown, 27. Darius Slay, 28. KJ Osborne, 27. Demarcus Robinson, 30. Nelson Aguilar, 31. DJ Chark, 28. Mac Hollins, 31. Tyler Boyd, 30. Zach Pascal, 30. Zay Jones, 29. Elijah Moore, 24. Elijah Moore, the age, the route running ability, somebody's going to snatch him up and give him a decent contract. Yeah, man. Rondell Moore, Nick Westbrook. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna lie. This is not a bad free agent market for wide receivers. If you need to add to your group, S. Blunt, you bring up a very good point as well. That's why I said if you just want to add to, if you want to supplement, you know what I mean? Some of these guys are going to get a 1 or 2 year deal from somewhere. See, S. Blunt, you're right to an extent. You're right to an extent. There are going to be teams who will draft wide receivers. That's true. But also, there are going to be teams who are maybe contenders, who maybe want to add some veteran leadership in the wide receiver room. This is solid. This is solid. This is a solid wide receiver free agent class. This is solid. If you want to supplement what you already have. I'm not paying none of these guys big money at all, but this is a solid free agent group. If you want to add to what you want to do. Tony the Siberian. So do you trade AJ for Garrett and bring in Devontae? Come on. What? Come on, dog. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. What? What? Yo. I can't believe I even read that dumb shit. Can't believe I read that shit. The fuck is he talking about? The fuck? Hey, listen, kids, don't do drugs. Don't do drugs, y'all. Don't do drugs. What the fuck? What the fuck is he talking about? He was dead serious. Nah, he couldn't be serious. Nah, he couldn't have been. He couldn't have been serious. He couldn't have been. It had to be a troll account. He couldn't be serious. He had to be joking, right? Y'all, he was joking, right? He was joking, right, y'all? He was joking. He was joking. Green Wingman says here, Eagles could use one of these guys for depth. Only say that in case Brown or somebody were to go down for an extended period. Thank you for the super chat, Green Woman. I appreciate you. Maybe. Who knows, though? Who knows? But these guys are going to want to get. These guys are going to go somewhere that they can get some touches. They don't want to. They don't want to sit behind guys and wait. They want to play. Now Tony the Siberian. He says love AJ, but he misses games. AJ's been healthy. This is the first year AJ really been hurt. And then he came back after the bye week. What are we talking about? What? AJ missed week 2, week 3, week 4. We had a bye in week 5. He came back for week 6. He didn't miss a single game then. What? What are you talking about? Bro, he missed. Okay. He played every game in 2022. The only game he missed in 2023 was the Buccaneers game in the playoffs. So that's one game. And then in 2024, he missed week 2, 3, and 4. We had a bye week, week 5. And he played week 6 on. Who gives a fuck if you missed the playoff game? Who gives a fuck? One game. He's not injury prone. What are we talking about? Why am I reading this shit? What are we talking about, man? Anyway, I'm wasting my time. But yeah, man, this is a very, very interesting situation we find the Philadelphia Eagles in, right? Will they make a move, a major splash? Will they make a splash for Myles Garrett or Maxx Crosby or any edge rusher that's disgruntled that wants out? Howie Roseman knows how to find the diamond in the rough. He knows how to find someone who's disgruntled and knows how to bring him in. He's good for that. I expect Howie Roseman to make a major move. I just don't know what it is yet. And Darius Slay and James Bradberry have officially been cut by the Philadelphia Eagles. They've been designated as post-June 1st cuts. When it comes to James Bradberry, cutting James Bradberry will clear $2.1 million in cap space for the Philadelphia Eagles, but they will have to deal with $10.8 million of dead money for cutting him. And as far as Darius Slay goes, cutting Darius Slay will save the Eagles $4.3 million on the 2025 cap. But they must carry $13.8 million of dead cap until June 1st. So between James Bradberry and Darius Slay being cut, the Eagles saved $6.4 million on the cap. Also, the league cap has been raised, I believe, $19 million or something like that. So I think the Eagles have about $26 to $29 million in cap space, if I'm not mistaken. But again, the Eagles, will they re-sign Zach Bond? Will they be able to bring back Mekhi Beckton? Will they explore the notion of trading for a Myles Garrett or even a Maxx Crosby? Will they chalk that and say, you know what? We're going to draft some edge rushers and we're going to develop the guys we have? Will Ringo have an opportunity to start in 2025? Will the Eagles bring back Isaiah Rodgers? It all remains to be seen. But I'm excited, and I can't wait to continue to talk about this with you guys as we progress throughout the regular or throughout the off season. Thank you guys for being tuned in. Thank you guys for being supporters of the channel. Thank you guys for donating to the channel as well. I want to give a shout out. To all of the people who donated today. I also want to give a shout out to my members. So let's give a shout out to Alex, who donated today, who's also a member. Let's give a shout out to Green Wingman, who donated today, who's also a member. Let me look at my man Master Avenger Super Chat. He says, as long as Bond and Beckton come back, I don't care who we get. I want Milton back, but Myles is seriously enticing. If we hear a Hurts extension, be ready for it. It may not be an extension, but it may be a restructure because he's still early in that deal. Hurts is still very early in that deal. Let me double check this. Hurts is still very early in that deal. Hurts' new deal kicked in the 2024 season. So he's going to be entering the second year of that new contract. Remember, he signed a 5-year extension. So 2024 was the first year of the deal. 2025 was the second year. So I doubt we see a Hurts extension. We're probably going to see a Hurts restructure, if anything. We may see a Hurts restructure. But you're right, Mass Avenger. Zach Bond and Beckton, I would love to have them back. Milton is going to get paid. It's done for. And Green Wingman with the final super chat, he says Eagles could use one of these guys for depth. Only say that in case Brown or Smitty were to go down for an extended period. At some point, you got to develop the guys you have. I see what you're saying, though. Don't get it twisted. I see what you're saying. But at some point, you got to develop guys. You still got Jahan Dotson on the roster, right? We'll see, though. It all remains to be seen. But again, thank you guys for donating to the channel. I want to give a shout out to all my members: Dana Scott, Dark Matters, Lucius the Show, William Johnson, Shep, Dank Bird Gang, the Big Ten Repper, Gregory Trower, Infinite Ace, Tony, K.O. the Green, 757 CJ, Ian Blackwell Sr., Tony, K.O. the Green, Green Wingman, Doomsday Corner, Alex, Mr. Eagles Nation, Trey 979, Carol Hockaday, Sweet Chin Music, Fanny the Eagles Fan Girl, the boy RJ, FAMU 123, Big Pickin', S Blunt, Luther Winfield. Thank you guys so much for being members of the channel. Appreciate you guys. Got love for you guys. And the show, I repeat, the show cannot go on without you guys. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. And you guys have been locked into a special dose of Chalk It Up Sports via the Chalk It Up Network, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game.